Gentlemen, let's dive into something most men never truly understand. Touch isn't merely about a couple of moves or fleeting gestures. It's about discovering the spots on a woman's body that spark deep emotional resonance, often long before any physical reaction even begins. The truth is, most men know only a handful of these places, if that. I've spent over 2 decades as a relationship psychologist, working with couples at every stage of life, and I've seen the patterns, the missteps, and the small actions that genuinely build connection. Today, I want to share what I wish every man grasped from the very beginning. No fluff, no abstract theories, just insights rooted in research, neuroscience, and decades of real-world experience. Ask yourself this. Do you really know where and how a woman wants to be touched? I'm not talking about the obvious, commonly mentioned areas. I mean the spots that awaken her emotionally, the subtle gestures that make her feel truly seen before her body even reacts. Many men will say, "I know my partner well," and yet, when confronted with this question, silence often follows. Why? Because no one ever teaches it properly. There is no instruction manual. Women themselves rarely articulate these needs directly. Instead, they communicate subtly through posture, glances, and minute gestures that most men overlook entirely. Today, I'll guide you through 7 key zones. But understand this, these aren't merely physical locations, they're emotional gateways. When you approach them with awareness, patience, and care, your touch can transform into a language of connection, expressing care without a single word. After more than 20 years working with couples, one truth stands out. Most men operate on instinct. They assume touching the right spot triggers immediate pleasure. But for women, pleasure isn't mechanical. It begins with emotional safety. Men often think they're doing it right. Yet from her perspective, touch can feel one-sided or transactional. You might notice her reactions have changed over time. She may not respond the way she once did. The reason is simple. What men take for granted rarely evokes real emotion in women. Women respond to intention, presence, and genuine awareness. When she senses that your whole being is invested, when your mind and heart are fully engaged, her body naturally follows. But here's the crucial part. Women rarely spell out their needs. They show them. One patient once said, "Don't touch me just to touch me. Let me feel that you're really here first." That statement captures a truth so many women feel deeply. It's about opening a psychological door before reaching for the physical one. Let's explore the 7 zones. Zone 1, the hands. Many men overlook them, yet hands are deeply intertwined with a woman's emotional world. Holding her hands slowly, tracing her fingers, applying gentle pressure to the palm. These small gestures convey understanding and attention. Couples who maintain hand contact, even after decades, often report a stronger emotional bond. Hand contact releases oxytocin, the hormone of trust and closeness. Neglecting this small detail can completely derail intimacy. Clean, warm, well-cared-for hands amplify connection in profound ways. Zone 2, the nape of the neck. Tension accumulates here quietly, often unnoticed. A slow, gentle touch at the hairline, without words, without expectation, promotes relaxation and trust. I recall a man in his late 50s who felt emotionally invisible in his marriage. One evening, without any agenda, he lightly rested his hand on his wife's neck as she gazed out the window. She paused, exhaled, and turned toward him. That silent gesture rekindled a connection they thought lost. Zone 3, the lower back between the waist and hips. This communicates stability and reassurance. Placing your hands here gently, without gripping, says, "I'm here, you're safe, you're free." These moments work beautifully in daily routines, morning rituals, quiet kitchen moments, or simple hugs from behind. Zone 4, behind the ears just beneath the jawline. Highly sensitive and accessible only when trust exists. Gentle warmth, not pressure, opens the zone. One woman shared that this touch didn't make her feel desired, it made her feel valued. Many women need that feeling of value before desire ever enters the picture. Zone 5, between the shoulder blades. Often overlooked, This area conveys protection, a place she cannot see herself in. A gentle hand reassures her, slows her nervous system, and softens her mind. It's non-sexual, and that's what makes it profoundly impactful. Zone 6, the inner thighs near the knees, requires caution and clarity. This is not intimate contact, but a transitional zone, close yet respectful, suggestive yet safe. Approach slowly, it signals, "I respect your pace." Skipping this step can erode trust along the way. Zone 7, the lower abdomen around the navel. For many men, this is surprising. This area sits at the intersection of instinct and emotion and demands sincerity. When you touch here slowly and warmly, you're not just touching skin, you're honoring her inner world. She opens emotionally, offering trust beyond the physical. These zones are effective because women experience touch through emotion and neurological pathways, not mere physical sensation. Gentle contact triggers oxytocin, fostering trust, connection, and emotional openness. These aren't simply erogenous zones, they're emotional sensors that signal safety and presence. The practical approach is simple. Slow down, observe her responses, and integrate these touches naturally into everyday life. Consistency and presence are key. One man shared, "I don't know what changed, but she felt closer." That's the essence. Women may not verbalize it, but they feel it profoundly. Remember, these 7 zones aren't buttons to push. They are doors to her emotional world. Every touch conveys, "I see you. I respect you. You matter." That is what women truly desire, not performance, not expectation, but authentic connection. And it's never too late to start. A single conscious, heartfelt touch can transform an entire relationship. Touch is only part of connection. The emotional and psychological layers behind it matter far more. Women respond to gestures that communicate awareness, respect, and care long before physical reactions appear. It's not about speed, intensity, or technique. It's about presence. Every subtle movement, every gentle touch signals, "I am here. You're safe. You are valued." These gestures cultivate trust and emotional intimacy, often more than words ever could. Small actions, quiet mornings, shared coffee, or a simple hug become moments of emotional reinforcement. Women communicate through subtle cues, a soft exhale, relaxed posture, and a quiet smile. Small but powerful, these signals carry immense emotional weight. Science confirms this. Emotional touch releases oxytocin, strengthening trust, closeness, and bonding in ways physical attraction alone cannot. Couples who embrace mindful touch experience longer-lasting intimacy, resilience under stress, and deeper connection over time. Learning these cues is not just about enhancing intimacy. It's about building a partnership rooted in care, respect, and emotional understanding. When a man listens with his hands as much as his ears, he doesn't just amplify pleasure, he strengthens the foundation of the relationship itself. Over time, these gestures form a language, a quiet, powerful dialogue that communicates love, trust, and security. Intimacy becomes more than physical, it becomes emotional attunement. Awareness turns ordinary moments into opportunities to deepen love and understanding. The 7 zones, hands, nape of the neck, lower back, behind the ears, shoulder blades, inner thighs, and lower abdomen, are gateways to emotional connection. Approached with patience, care, and sincerity, touch becomes a conversation, telling her, "I am here. I respect you. You matter." Couples who master these techniques report deeper intimacy, renewed closeness, and stronger bonds even after years together. The science is clear. Oxytocin, trust, and emotional openness arise from intention, not technique alone. Women feel it in the subtle pauses, the softening posture, and the leaning in that requires no words. These zones aren't shortcuts. They're doors to genuine emotional presence. And the most important truth? It's never too late to begin. One conscious, attentive touch can shift energy, open channels of trust, and reignite emotional intimacy, even years later. Approached with care, respect, and presence, you're not just touching a body. You're touching a woman's heart, mind, and soul. This is true connection, profound, lasting, and far more powerful than anything purely physical. Practice it with intention, and watch your presence, patience, and touch transform not just her responses, but the very rhythm of your relationship. True closeness isn't complicated. It simply requires awareness, sincerity, and the willingness to see her fully. When you do, you don't just create moments, you create a lifetime of connection.